The hypocrisy of mass migration. If we're the problem, why do you keep coming here? Let's cut through the bullshit. Everyone loves to paint Europeans, white people, as the great villains of history. They say we're evil, oppressive, colonizers, racists, the whole laundry list. And yet, here's the question nobody seems to want to answer. If we're so awful, then why the fuck does the whole world keep trying to move into the nations we built? We're not the majority. We're not some massive global empire. Europeans make up only 10% of the world's population. That's it, a tiny minority. And yet, out of 90% of the planet, where does everyone want to go? Not to Mexico, not to Saudi Arabia, not to Brazil, not to Africa. Nope. They always go to England, to Germany, to America, to Australia, always into our lands. And then, the real insanity. Once people get here, they don't say thank you. They don't show respect. Nope. They start talking shit. They tell us how we're supposed to run our countries. They demand things. They lecture us. They claim they built the very nations they risked everything to get into. Excuse me? You fled your burning house, begged to get into mine. And now you're going to stand in my living room and tell me how to rearrange the furniture. Here's one of their favorite lines. Well, who's going to do the jobs you don't want to do? As if I'm supposed to be grateful that someone will mow my lawn for peanuts. Newsflash, those jobs are only shit jobs because you flooded the labor market and tanked the wages. Of course, nobody wants to do them for $10 an hour. The job didn't used to be worthless. You made it worthless. That's not a virtue. That's not helping. That's modern-day slavery disguised as economic opportunity. And the worst part, the same people who cheer this on pat themselves on the back, like they're saints, when really they're just celebrating corporations exploiting desperate labor. Another favorite claim, we built this country. No, you didn't. If you were capable of building thriving nations, you'd be thriving back home. But you're not. Africa isn't booming. Mexico isn't a paradise. The Middle East isn't a beacon of stability. The only time you suddenly discover how to build and innovate is when you move into our house. That's not building. That's leeching. That's like leaving Motel 6 because it sucks. Sneaking into the Hilton and then standing in the lobby screaming, "I built this hotel." No, you didn't. You just couldn't stand Motel 6 anymore. Don't insult my intelligence. Here's another hard truth nobody says out loud. If you're a grown, able-bodied man running from your homeland instead of defending it, you're a coward. Period. Men are supposed to protect their land, their families, their culture. You don't abandon it all and then demand respect from the very people you're leeching off. Cowards don't earn respect. Cowards don't get into Valhalla. And you sure as hell don't get to run from your problems, dump them in my lap, and then lecture me about morality. Remember the math. Europeans are 10% of the world. We are the global minority. And yet, everyone else, billions of people across entire continents, want it. Meanwhile, we've bled ourselves dry in world wars, sacrificed millions of lives, and still managed to build nations that work. So why is it our responsibility to accept the masses from countries that refuse to fix themselves? Why are we supposed to apologize for success? Why are we supposed to feel guilty for having the very things that people are literally dying to reach? If we're so evil, why are you running toward us instead of away from us? Here's the part nobody wants to admit. It's not about race. It's not about hatred. It's about respect. If you're desperate enough to leave your homeland and fight tooth and nail to get into mine, the least you can do is show gratitude. Respect the culture. Respect the people. Respect the land you beg to enter. But what we get instead is arrogance, entitlement, and endless bitching. You knock on my door, I let you in, and the first thing you do is start insulting the furniture. That's not gratitude. That's spitting in the face of the very people who saved you. So here's the deal. Either you come in with respect and humility, or you go back. Because I don't owe you a damn thing. Not my country, not my culture, not my opportunities, not even my time. You want respect, earn it. Build something of your own. Otherwise, stop trying to take credit for what you didn't build and stop trying to tell me how to run my own house. At the end of the day, this is about logic. And logic says if I'm really the villain, if I'm really the problem, you wouldn't be banging on my door trying to get in. You wouldn't be flooding toward me. You wouldn't be clawing for a piece of what I built. So let's stop pretending. You came here because we did something right. You came here because we built something worth having. And if you can't even admit that much, then don't expect me to take you seriously. Because my house doesn't need cowards, backseat drivers, or liars claiming credit for work they never did. My house needs people who know how to fight for their own, respect what's not theirs, and show a little goddamn gratitude. Otherwise, the door's right there. Don't let it hit your ass on the way out.